Two 3-year-olds.
I'm a kid and I don't want to grow up.
Oh, man, Joe got a 6-year-old, an 8, 9, 10, 11, a 12, a 13-year-old. I got a 32-year-old too.
A 32-year-old? What are you, like 75?
51. Joe, you got a 30-year for real? 32.
So,
Something else that drives
so you were
that average
19?
up is
Salute to you, Joe. Salute to you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
there's something else that drives that average up because it's an average, right? It's also kids with like chronic disabilities that are gonna have to miss, and they got to go to the hospital and stuff like that because
Kamala Harris will put your mama in jail.
You said what? Yeah, I know that's Asian, right?
I say Kamala Harris put that poor woman in jail for truancy because Kamala Harris is a dumb B word.
Listen, if she put her in jail for truancy, I truly see the PTR. That's a fucking fact. I don't. That's the only truancy I see.
Yeah, one of the mothers, her daughter had sickle cell, and the reason her daughter was missing, she always had notes and everything, but she was actually charged, and it was because her daughter had to be in the hospital a lot. Like, her daughter even eventually had to have her arm amputated.
Yes, it should also be a spike in CPS cases then, because they don't play. How much did they miss? A month of what?
Yeah, they don't play that shit.
So we ain't getting that funding for a whole month for that child? Hold up. We going to the house.
Yeah, they didn't get no, like, they didn't get no, so I'm confused, right? Because usually schools will try to accommodate children who are sick or in the hospital. They'll either send home
laptop or the paperwork.
Right, like they'll try to accommodate, and it's really up to the parents. I don't know. I've never.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it where you are, Sandra, but they gave out Chromebooks where I am.
Yeah, they usually try to accommodate, even if it's not through like sending laptops. If they don't have the funding for that, they'll at least send like the same homework, the same work, to the parents. I could only imagine how stressful that might be, having a sick child trying to get them to do schoolwork. But gotta get it done, bro.
Hell, most of the parents can't do 6th grade math. So when the kids come in there with some pre-algebra questions like, "Mom, could you help me with this?"
You're on your own.
Like, what the hell?
You're on your own.
So, fun fact about sickle cell disease was an adaptation to like help people in in Africa to deal with malaria.
Oh, that's what's up. That's sweet.
You know how many people have died of malaria in human history?
Actually, it's a lot. That and yellow fever.
Yeah, I mean, I go to take the garbage out, and in my alley, I get bit by mosquitoes. Imagine, digging trenches and draining swamps. Like, you're gonna die.
Especially in the swamps, the mosquitoes be like hummingbirds, bro. Like, it's terrible. You can hear them. It's crazy, bro. And it's not that real high-pitched squealy buzz either. It's like when they fly past you, it's like somebody flipped the shirt in your ear. Like, yeah, I ain't gonna be out there.
It reminds me of Kamala Harris because she's like a vampire.
Hey, did you see what the teleprompter thing? When she was
yeah, she can't ad lib. Yeah, she can't ad lib because she doesn't have.
She just kept saying 32 days. 32 days.
That shit was hilarious.
32 days, and we're gonna do it. And we're gonna do it. Yeah, wow. 32 days. I was like, then when they fixed it, she went back to talking. It was crazy. I think they caught her in the town hall too, talking to some people, and they were asking her questions. She was answering them, and whoever the cameraman was, I'm pretty sure he's fired. He panned around, and the camera went behind her, and in front of her you see a teleprompter. And as the camera gets to the teleprompter is cut off. It goes off, and she stumbles in what she wants to say. I said, "Oh, she is dangerous."
Yeah, you think Vivek Ramaswamy, Trump, anybody can come up with, things to talk about. So, she's just that I it's not necessarily her fault maybe because, when you do read from a teleprompter, she's just paused and waiting, but any one of you, anybody on this app can come up with three topics that they want to talk about with, an audience. Unfortunately, she's so fake and artificial that when it doesn't become a stage performance, she's lost.
I see that.
But that doesn't translate to. That doesn't mean she's not competent to do the job.
Yeah, it doesn't mean she's not going to win either. Incompetency doesn't matter when you're installed by Alex Soros and Dominion Voting Systems and electric election fraud. It's what's happening, and we will be called election deniers, and we will be censored November 6th.
I'm so sorry, sidebar, y'all. This is a real quick sidebar. I just realized that the fucking. First off, I just realized there's no white people in here, number one, besides Ashley and Adrian. Second, I just looked up and it says no whites. Sorry.
Yeah, it's crazy, ain't it? It's crazy.
I just realized that.
Oh, you forgot Nathan's there.
No, Nathan is the white of whites. He's not just white.
It says no whites, sorry, and like there's only like a handful of whites in They're protesting you, Nathan. Okay, y'all can go back to the conversation.
Nathan is Clubhouse.
Wait, what
Clubhouse's
happened?
biggest. Nathan is Clubhouse's.
Nathan got mad at Monica because she created a room and like all of the white people went over there, and so like the room became obsolete. Like nobody was in there for a couple hours, and then when Monica like basically the room died, they all came back over here, and Nathan cussed them the fuck out.
Wow.
That's because Nathan platforms hate. Nathan is a racist.
Nathan was like, "How dare you take your whiteness into another room? Now, your punishment shall be a room without you."
But look, you got Ann down there. She balances it all out. She's super white.
Yeah, you can look at the PTR and see Ann is super white. She's
But
cool
see, you
though.
can't do nothing towards white people because they actually stand on business. Black people, we don't stand on business.
They stand on business and other people's names.
That's not true. You got my fashions down there. He's staying on business.
Now, one thing about it, black people don't stand on business often, but they always stand on business. You better understand the difference.
What is the difference?
Ooh, I like that. Jacobus just set a bar on Twitter.
Nah, that was me, bro.
That wasn't Jacobus.
Oh, okay, I forgot.
That was Jacobus. See how they doing that, bro? That was Jacobus.
That's what they doing it.
That's what they always do.
Who said it?
Yeah, it was me, bro.
Joe.
That was Jacobus.
The white guy at the pool.
It was Joe Cobus.
Hey, Guava, you got the next cologne I'm about to get in your PTR. I just got a Nishio yesterday.
Oh my gosh, you went to Cologne too? I'm a perfume girly. I love perfume.
That shit causes cancer.
Hey, so as cologne
care
and
about that.
perfume, as cologne and perfume connoisseurs,
If your cologne and perfume don't cost $200 or more, you a bum, nigga.
Well, the perfume that I just purchased was damn near $300.
And what's it called?
It's in my PTR, sir.
That's a bottle of Hennessy.
You can't read, nigga?
Is that Courvoisier? That's not perfume, baby. That's an alcohol spirit.
Yeah, y'all just
She
wanna...
don't know. She don't know. She dirty.
Hey, Guava.
I thought about getting one of those perfume subscriptions.
Initio, I never heard of Initio.
It's better to take a
You
shower.
gotta get Joe Malone. That's the only bitch.
Nigga, you need to wash your ass. Shut the fuck up.
No, you don't know nothing.
What fragrance does Kamala wear?
Yo, Guava, next time you at Saks, bro, go to Nishio and look at Side Effect. It's the one I just got. Nigga, best fragrance in the world.
For
Like,
real?
Yeah, bro, all these black people.
You should all just fucking read a book instead of spraying yourselves to make yourselves smell better.
Hey, do me a favor.
Alright, look at my cologne. This is the difference between me and Noel.
I heard you had this nigga salty because your room was better than his.
I heard Hampton Spears thinks black women's hair stinks.
That's true. That sucks.
That's a fact.
Monica.
Nah. Monica stole from me. She stole my white people. I put them goddamn
She
words.
stole my white people. It's crazy.
Well, Monica, I didn't know you owned white people.
It's been 2 days, Shy. He still heard about it.
Monica, what did you do? What did you do in that other room? Did you read a book or did you talk about cologne?
Karma.
You
We
see?
snitched back up the
So now you know, Nathan, that Monica's whiteness far surpasses your own. Stay in your lane.
Hell, my
Shut
fashion.
your black ass up.
My
What's up?
fashion.
My nigga.
It's not Clemington Park. It's Dorney Park. Okay.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Y'all ever been to Donny Park? I've been to Donny Park twice,
Dorney Park.
and I loved it.
Stony Park, that's a Nation of Islam. Louis Farrakhan.
Dorney Park is much better than, in my opinion, I think it's better than Six Flags.
What?
I never been
Damn,
to
that was
Six
ass.
Flags.
Now I'm looking at that damn.
Yeah, you said Clemington. I'm like, whoa. Clemington got that dirty water. What you trying to say?
So can we take a quick survey? If you're voting Donald Trump, put a
It was
5
clever.
in
It
the
was
chat.
clever.
If you're voting Kamala Harris, put a 1 in the chat.
Oh my god, this nigga is insufferable. Like, oh my gosh, bro.
Are you kidding me? We just listened to you and the fashions for 10 minutes talk about cologne and perfume.
Yeah, but you know, when you
Wasn't
have
even 10
enough
minutes,
of
like a
us,
minute, 30 seconds.
if you have enough of this, Edmund, just leave quietly and then come back when you feel less trolly. Because when you're not trolling, you add value to rooms.
Oh, really?
No, you do. Yeah.
Well, why do you think I'm trolling?
Well, because you're bored
Because you're
and you
bored.
want the attention. Just leave quietly, find somewhere else, and then come back when you're more serious.
Yes, ma'am. I take commands from my white master. Farewell, Nathan. Monica is my new white master. Goodbye.
Yes, that's my initiative, Adam. Please join us. Michael, are you even listening anymore, or you just hit the mute button to tune this all out? I think Michael's gone.
It's working.
So on a related note, Nate, in this room last night, this Christian brother suggested that black people grow overpopulation by 20 million to increase our representation. And so I worked out a model where if every qualified black man would have 4 side chicks, and he's married, and each woman has 3 babies, we could get to 15 million over the next decade. Wow. Well, you know that they say marijuana lowers sperm count and testosterone, and Kamala has just promised all black people that she would legalize marijuana federally. So is she working against black people? Apparently, against this master plan. Well, let's see what Love has to say about that. What's up, Love?
Yeah, I smoke cannabis. I go to the gym. I drink beer with orange juice. And, I think my testosterone is just fine. But you might be right about the sperm count.
You drink beer with orange juice? You drink beer?
Yeah, I take Miller High Life. Hey, Prashant, limit your autism for a minute. We know you're a genius in AI and Jesus Christ and the Bible, but limit your autism for a second.
Go on, what were you saying? I think you
I'm just saying that it's time to legalize cannabis because if you can go to Walgreens and buy a pack of cigarettes and kill yourself with those carcinogens, you might as well be able to kill yourself with a superior product.
Well, first of all, don't smoke vape. Secondly, then you don't got to worry about carcinogens. But also, we were talking about population of the black people. So, maybe it's more inclusive on testosterone or whatever.
But as far as sperm count, like it seems like that would inhibit growing the population at least a little bit, or you'd have to work harder.
Well, Planned Parenthood is a far more effective, population growth inhibitor. I mean, Planned Parenthood has killed over 30 million African American children in this country. Over 30 million. And if you
if someone wanted like black population, like forgive weed, just be like, hey, we're gonna shut down Planned Parenthood.
It's true. And if those 30 million had children, you're talking about really an empire of African Americans that have been eliminated over 50 years. You're talking about probably 50 million people that have been killed off because of Planned Parenthood and the abortion industry.
And the Democrats keep chalking up those votes. Seems a little counterintuitive, but all right. It's kind of like
if you ever want to write an interesting fiction novel, do one where there was no abortion in America and like make up a bunch of people who were born and just like mix them in. I think that would be a fascinating book, and I think it would be wonderful Christian fiction. I hope you consider that.
It should be a movie. It's like Man in High Castle. What if the Nazis won? What if blacks were never genocided in America?
Speaking of books, CEO, I think it's been 30 days since your advice, so I should go back to Amazon. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
So wait a minute, CEO, you were at a beach yesterday. Are you at a rave today or something?
It sounds like he's at a rooftop party. I'm at the beach still, but I'm getting lunch right now, and they got like this nice background music at the lunch cafe I'm at.
Are you in Mexico?
Have you taken the
I'm in
shahada?
Dubai.
Is that what it's
Dubai.
called? What's it called? The shahada or something? What is that?
I have no idea what that is.
It's like the faith statement to be a Muslim. Shahada or something like that.
Assalamu alaikum.
They didn't require that for the Illuminati.
Let's see.
So, has anyone read the Tim Waltz victim statement letter?
I read parts of it. What I saw was not the whole statement. It was like excerpts from it. But which one? Apparently, there's more than one. I thought there was one, but
it's on
someone
X.
let me know there was at least two.
There's 4 screenshots that I saw. 2 like supplementary follow-up lead-ups to the main one where the victim writes out a full statement to the doctor as opposed to just alluding to. And he claims that he was sexually abused 12 times as a 14-year-old. Waltz took him to an Indigo concert, to a drag bar, and his wife was complicit in the cover-up as well as, knowing that he was gonna. So, I got gaydar. I'm not gay, but I have gaydar. And Tim Waltz with his jazz hands, to me, I bet you the guy's a bisexual pedophile.
Well, I'm wondering why mainstream outlets haven't reported this yet. I'm hoping it's just because they're doing their diligence and taking time to really vet it. But I mean, I really hope that they, if there's truth to it, that they start broadcasting this out quick. Like I'm starting to hear it more independent journalists are mentioning it, but I mean I think some of the conservative outlets would jump all over this if they could verify it's true. So hopefully they're just taking their time and making sure it's really really true, and then they'll just put it on blast.
So I just quickly want to ask Michael, how many American immigrants will we be able to take in? Because it looks like Trump's going to win, and a lot of people will be trying to move to Canada.
I don't know why you think Trump is, I saw 58-42. Those are the numbers that I saw for Trump. But if you really think even if Trump wins the popular election or just the Electoral College, I mean, I get the feeling that Kamala is going to be installed, that election fraud is real, that election deniers on November 6th will be censored on all major platforms because election fraud will be called a conspiracy theory.
I don't disagree that they're going to try. Well, you've got Jamie Raskin already saying, him and who else was the other guy? They already are saying that they will not certify the election. And I think didn't Biden just sign? Oh gosh, I half remember things. I just heard something like Biden signed an executive order that would basically allow them legally to not certify the election. And Raskin said it right. His dad, as deep state as it gets, he's like, yeah, we will not certify the election if Trump wins, no matter what. Like, well, so when Trump questions an election and wants an investigation, you say he's an insurrectionist and all this other stuff. But for questioning an election, wanting an investigation about it, but now you're on national TV saying you will not certify it no matter what. It's like, but rules for me, not for thee. So
Well, let me tell you though, Nate. Biden is such an institutionalist. He would not allow them to do that. Like, if he was on his deathbed, he would not allow them to do that. So I don't believe that for a second.
Someone look up if there was like an executive order or something, because someone was saying that he signed something that would basically allow them to do just that. And it doesn't mean he has to be confident. Like, maybe even if you're true, Biden would never allow that. That may very well be true. But that wouldn't stop him from shoving something in his face. Like, hey, Biden, sign this, bro. Like, what's this? It's for your pudding.
An executive order can't overrule the Constitution anyway, so it just that doesn't work.
CEO, be real. None of them care about the Constitution. You have Hillary Clinton and I think Raskin or Schumer. No, Hillary Clinton and Kerry. Crap, what's his first name? John Kerry. You have Hillary Clinton and John Kerry just coming out against the First Amendment, saying we will not succeed if we don't have the ability to censor people. Like, they do not care about the Constitution.
Wow. I mean, CEO, my sweet summer child. I mean, brother, like, you cannot be that naive. Like, I mean, look, you know what Chevron deference is, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, CEO. You not believe in
Chevron
conspiracy
deference
theories
not
is naivety.
overrule the Constitution for decades. Like, come on. Like, executive orders absolutely. Oh my goodness, yeah. The entire point of executive orders is to get around the Constitution.
Well, so, Chris, there's this book called Optimists Always Win, and I want you to get a copy of it. I believe it will bless you in many ways.
You're right. I am a pessimist. I'm not gonna be cute about it. I'm definitely a pessimist.
So now I know what the new industry will be if Trump wins the election. Between Election Day and January 20th, or January 6th, it will basically be, the left isn't going to certify the election, and there will be all these conspiracy theories about that, and that will make people a lot of money for that 6-week period. So I can see it happening.
CEO, why would it be a conspiracy theory when a member of Congress says we will not certify the election?
Because he's an idiot, okay? Like, he is an idiot. The truth of the matter is, Harris will most certainly certify it. Biden would be in favor of certifying it. And it's just not going to go down this way. And Jamie Rascal, I admit, is a complete fool, but he's a lone wolf. And he will not gather enough support.
You don't think... Well, we talked yesterday about the Democrats have an amazing ability to swallow whatever they're told by the leaders. I have no problem with that because Trump is damaged these people so bad. That's all they talk about. So I don't have any problem with them being. Do you really think the squad and these people there may be all the people who are remotely moderate have distanced themselves from the Democratic Party, like Joe Manchin and all these other people, like Tulsi Gabbard, they left the party. All the people who have been moderate Democrats, they've already gone. All the people left are hey, who wants Trump to win? They're not me, not me, not me. He's racist. He's literally Hitler. I'm oh, okay, we're not going to certify. Yeah, you got our support. I mean, it sounds like your youthful naivety and optimism is probably what someone said right before they were voted on train cards. It's no, guys, it'll never happen.
I will
Trust
make
the
a
system.
wager on this. If Trump wins, I will wager anybody, and I'll give you 3-1 odds on it. Okay, if anyone wants to make a friendly wager.
No, I bet you $1.
No, hold on. Because I looked this up, because I hadn't heard this whole Raskin saying that he was going to not certify. So I looked it up. And I would like you all to now tell me, now that I've looked it up from multiple sources, what did Raskin say?
I saw a clip of him saying it, so I'll have to find
What
the
were
video.
his words?
I'll have to. Did you find the video clip? because I saw him on a video. Are you looking at like a transcript? Or are you
Just
looking
post
at
your
the
links in
video
the
I-
chat, random.
I will. No. I am not going to help you. I want you to tell me. what
I didn't
Raskin
bring
said.
the claim. Nate brought the claim.
Hold on.
Because this is how verifying. This is how verifying claims works.
Hang on.
I'm not going to
I'm
help
trying to listen
you.
to the video.
Got it,
One
random.
rampant
We
with
understand,
some
random.
misinformation
Well,
bullshit.
Nate looks this up. Can I point out that in the chat, I put a link to the oversight board, which Meta has put in place, and you're going to laugh your ass off when you see who is on the censorship council at Facebook. And they have fully automated censorship on Instagram Live, in Facebook Live. So you will not be able to question the election results because you will be labeled an election denier. And Meta and Google are fully prepared November 6th to silence any dissent in this country.
Okay, I found it. So, random. What I just found, if I can figure out how to share this thing, I will. It's how long is it? It seems to be like a minute clip, and it's in context, so it starts, and he says, trying to remember now, I just now watched it. I'll show it here, I'll put the link in chat so you can see it. So the link is in chat for what I'm going to paraphrase. So watch that. He says, on January 6th, it's going to be up to us, up to Congress, to tell a bunch of, he said some disparaging term, like a bunch of rabid or crazy or whatever MAGA people, that because 9 Supreme Court justices wouldn't uphold the Constitution, that we're declaring the 14th Amendment, and he is disqualified from running, therefore, we won't certify the election. It's something to that effect. I just posted the clip in chat, so you guys can watch that. But in order to Google it, I Googled, Raskin says he won't certify the election, and then I go to videos, and I just scroll down, and there's a bunch of clips. The one I clicked on is, it's like the third one down. Maybe everyone's is slightly different, but it's 57 seconds from Facebook, from MRC TV. So, yeah, it sounds like he says they're not going to certify the election because he says on January 6th, we're going to have to tell a bunch of rabid or whatever MAGA people that we're not certifying the election because the 14th Amendment, he's disqualified because 9 Supreme Court justices wouldn't uphold their job. And then I think he said something about some of the justices were fine. Or I don't remember, maybe that's a different one. But I stopped after I got what I needed. So there you go. Random. It seemed like you were challenging that. So do you stand by whatever you were saying, or were we watching the same videos?
That is not what I found. I could have found something incorrect. I am
Okay. Well, copy that link in chat. And
I'm working on it. I don't actually have a Facebook anymore, so
I don't need it. You don't need it. No. I don't have Facebook
the
either.
video.
Yeah,
I'm working
I don't
on
have. Okay, I don't have Facebook either. But you can still go to it, and it'll be like you need to log in. Just click X. Just X that out, and the video's right there. His smug face. Just unmute it and hit play, and you don't need an account. If you still can't find it, let me know, and I will download the video myself. Because yeah, it's 100% what I was saying.
At MySpace.
What's up, Chuck?
What's going on?
How are you?
Good.
Awesome.
Jamie Raskin's son, Jamie Raskin's son killed himself. I wonder why.
I did not know that.
Could it be a Tim Walz type situation? Are there actual high-level pedophiles in the U.S. government? I think so.
I think that Epstein list is going to get released, and a lot of people are going to be in trouble.
I mean, I think it's not dissimilar from the mafia. Like, for whatever reason, they chose pedophilia, but it's like the mafia or, gangs, whatever. Like, you used to have to, make your bones by, committing murder.
Yeah, it's like the Catholic Church.
Doing heinous crimes, but for some reason, it's like these government bureaucrats, like the deep state, it seems like, at least the allegations are, instead of murders, they've chosen, pedophilia. And it's they start with, hey, here's a really hot 17-year-old. She's basically 18. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, thanks for the party favor. And then, a couple months later, They're like, hey, here's someone. Oh, don't worry. Well, she's 15, but it's fine. Like, you want to be in our club, right? Like, you want the power. You want help in this election. Like, you don't want that to come out about the 17-year-old, right? Because that could be bad for you. And then they're like, they just keep going lower and lower, and it's like the higher power of position you want to get in, they have to know your allegiance to them by doing more and more disgusting stuff. And again, why couldn't it be murder? I don't know. Maybe that's too easy for them. But it's like, here's a kid. We're going to videotape this, and we're going to have dirt on you for the rest of your life. Like, your soul is the price for you attaining this office.
Well, they've attempted murder like 4 or 5 times already on Trump. I mean, since he said he was going to run in this election, they've already attempted it so many times.
And well, he was in office, and when he ran the last time, there were attempts on his life.
I just think, from what I heard, he's going to have a powerful cabinet. They said it's going to consist of JFK, or Robert F. Kennedy, and there's a possibility that Alex Jones might be on it also.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
They're saying because he was giving out information to Trump on certain things.
Well, I mean, he definitely has Roger Stone's ear, and Stone has Trump's ear. So, I mean, the ideas of Alex Jones are definitely going to make it to Trump's ear. Whether or not he does anything with that, but I mean, Alex Jones will never be anywhere near the White House. But Trump will definitely hear his ideas.
I think Dan Crenshaw should. I think Crenshaw should be in there.
Dan Crenshaw?
The gay pirate?
The one. No, not Dan Crenshaw. The guy that was the war vet that lost his eye that Trump put into office, that nobody wanted into office. Then the moment Biden got presidency, he kicked him out of office. It was like
I don't know who you're talking about. If it's not Crenshaw, I have no idea who you're talking about.
Does Crenshaw wear a patch over his eye?
Yeah.
Yes. And he's like, I'm a chief American. Nah, go G.I. Joe. Oh no, I don't like guns. I don't like the Second Amendment. You can't have guns. Like, this guy is awful.
He's a rhino, or he's really technically do you think he's a neocon?
I haven't heard all of his stances on that. I just know I heard his stance on the gun control, and he was all in for it. So that was enough. I haven't paid attention to anything.
I hadn't heard that.
I'm sure if they're like, hey, you want to go bomb a bunch of people and start a bunch of wars, and hey, do you like Nikki Haley? I'm sure he'd be all into that.
I just know Trump put him into a position within government somewhere because, I don't know what the whole backstory about it, but I know, like, right after Biden stole the presidency, that that was one of the first things he did was kick Dan Crenshaw out of his.
I don't know.
No, Adam, you're gonna have to Google that.
Well, yeah, Crenshaw is a congressman. Trump didn't have anything to do with that. So I mean, like, if he said nice things so he could retain a seat or something, maybe. But he definitely wasn't anywhere near Trump's cabinet. So I don't. You need to check what you're talking about a little more, because all I know is he's like.
Sorry, I studied this issue for this whole time, and Nate, congratulations, you have provided a video that is not a conspiracy. It is not inaccurate. It is true. You provided the right context.
Correct. Yes,
I accept your concessions.
I'll acknowledge that as well.
I accept all of your concessions. Now bring your offering before me.
I would like to make a tithe to the Church of Nate.
To be clear, real fast, just for the listeners, what video are you talking about? Are you saying the Jamie Raskin thing is?
Yes, it is about January 2025, and he is saying that if Trump won, that he would be trying to enforce the 14th Amendment, which is basically saying that someone can't be elected if they committed insurrection. The problem with it, though, is that he needs the majority of Congress to vote with him, and the last time I checked, the House is majority Republicans. So unless he's going to get several Republicans to come over to his side, you don't have to worry about it. No, in the House.
Random, just so we know, to be fair, the thing in question is, did he say it? Yes, he said it.
Well,
Well, random. I just want to know the source you were looking at, or what you were looking at, to know if I should ever trust that source again. What did you find, and where was it from? Did it say that?
I found a quote. I found a quote from Raskin. It seemed, I mean, on preliminary stuff, it seemed to be. Can I have a transcript of an interview of him saying, "If it is a free and fair election, I will certify." Is essentially that.
Okay. What was the website, or where was it from?
I saw it in multiple places. Let me bring it up.
Okay. Person who. Paresh? What's up, Paresh? Are you speaking? Okay.
One of the sources was an interview with Axios.
That's probably good enough.
So I'm
that's the same thing, right? Like, that's the same thing they ask him. Like, they still ask him, right? Like in 2016, like, will you say however the election turns out? Will you accept the results? And he's like, if it's a free and fair election. They're like, oh, he's Hitler, ah! When Clinton said she would accept it, and she still hasn't accepted it.
I put a link in the chat, but you can, if you just Google Jamie Raskin's son's suicide, you will see how the media and Jamie Raskin wrapped up his son's suicide into the January 6th Capitol attacks as being an insurrection and an attack on the Republic and the democracy. It's pretty sick how they used his son's death as a January 6th propaganda event.
Was his son, I mean, is there like a picture of his son that'll probably tell us everything we need to know?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't see a picture of the kid.
Was he old or was he a teenager? I don't.
Probably. Well, I'd have to dig deeper, but it's a tragedy. But the fact of the matter is, why do people kill themselves? Because they're deeply unhappy.
Yeah, or to escape some sort of trauma or pain or something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, how the fuck does anyone have credibility when their son kills themselves?
That is a honestly, that's a tough standard, dude. I'm sorry, that is very wild. Judgmental. I mean, like, you could be a great parent at this stage. In fact, I was just sharing with everybody a few weeks ago that my son's friend, 11-year-old girl at the time in the 5th grade, she was talking to her group about that. Fortunately, she got better and everything's okay, but, like, she might have great parents, but because of like COVID and how it impacts people, and you don't ever know how things impact people. And even if you're a good parent, there are things that you might miss. That is a tough standard, my friend. I hope that no one judges you with the standard that you're judging him.
Well, I think it's pretty easy to reconcile this. I think maybe you'd agree, Love, that like what Theo said, if you're an awesome parent, that kid can still be jacked up from any number of other sources, like school, right? Especially in California, where they don't have to tell the parent what's going on. So if the parent is an amazing parent, does everything right, thinks their kid's having a happy, well-adjusted life, they don't display any signs of any trouble, yet their school is indoctrinating them to think that they're a girl when they're clearly a boy, and they're like, instructing them in all this other stuff, their parents bad, whatever, and then they get so bent out of sorts, they kill themselves. Well, I mean, no one could rightly blame the parent, especially in California where they have laws specifically stating we don't have to tell you what's going on with your kid. So that seems like an unlikely scenario, but still, I'm sure things similar to that have happened where, kids are guilty or they feel ashamed and they don't want to tell anyone. So hey, Dad, everything's great. And then they go away and cut themselves.
Well, I'm looking at the pictures. The kid had sugar in his tank just like Daddy. They're both gay. And Raskin has hair plugs, and I don't like men that have hair plugs as a fully bald man. I think the vanity of filling your head with plugs. Listen, Raskin is a rat, and CEO, you could claim that you hope people don't judge me the way that I judge Raskin, but Raskin is a public official. an elected government official who we all know is a rat bastard. His poor son, who was probably LGBTQ propagandized and possibly raped by his father or associates. So CEO, I know you're having a great time at your swinger party in Dubai, but your judgment, I gotta tell you, it doesn't count much to me. And I wouldn't hire you to brand a fucking chocolate bar.
Well, as much though, like we try. Everyone from but
Those times when people just fall on themselves. Yeah, so, okay, bro.
Exactly, bro. Go vote Kamala and go to the gym fatty. Instead of drinking, fake mocktails at some Dubai swinger party. Have fun.
Dude, why are you so bitter? Like, you're a person of faith and you're like this bitter and hateful?
No, I just think you're a phony baloney, I'm not going to use any more profanity, but I just think you're a phony baloney, goofball who doesn't know what's really happening in government. Go run around Dubai and have fun.
I do have a nice view I'm reading. Let's see if we can dial it back. So, not my words. If we only received thick Latinas and petite Asian women immigrants, liberal white women would form SS suits overnight. SS suit units overnight. I don't disagree with that. Steph, what would you think about that? Dangling a carrot for you, Steph.
Deport them over my way.
Oh, maybe that's good enough. Let's see. We have anything else to say?
How dare you, CEO? How dare you?
Oh, if the Democrats plan on having a chance at winning, they better bring the batteries for their teleprompter.
For the record, last week I also got called out for apparently not defending women, and this is from some of the women in the audience. I guess someone I don't remember who it was. Someone was going at them hard, saying was it women shouldn't vote or can't preach or I don't remember. It was like nothing.
And he was going after Courtney.
Oh yeah, and I got in trouble. I guess because the moderator of the room, and they're like, "Why are you defending women?" I'm like, "Well, do I need to? I'm a pretty equal opportunity, person here." I'm like, "Look, I just host the room. I try to moderate, profanity, and if people just start yelling and screaming and go completely off the rails, I try to step in just to keep some peace. But if people independently want to go after one another, to a point, I don't feel the need to step in. If that's somehow wrong, I guess, but that's my personality, right? So if Chris and Steph, goodness, they fought like cats and dogs before, and I'm like, well, Chris doesn't need me to jump in and defend him, nor does Steph. So if someone, I guess, gets a certain way where they ask me to, and they're like, look, man, I don't want to cause a problem. I don't want to defend myself. I just don't want this guy to be attacking me either. Fine, I get that. Maybe I'll do something, which maybe I am now. But I just wanted to be clear because it seems like I keep getting in these situations. If someone attacks me, if I want someone to jump in and defend me, maybe I'll ask. But typically, I think I don't need anyone to defend me. I'll take it myself.
So the situation for me is I'm in a public place. There are people sitting next to me at one dinner table and another. So I am not going to be able to use the sort of tone I otherwise would with this gentleman. So that's why I sent you a text message. And that's why I'm not responding in how I otherwise would if I was in a private setting.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah, I love the fact that you are now,
Hang on. Well, yeah, so that makes sense. So, I'm happy to help out. So, Love, you sound familiar. I happen to see your new account. You sound like someone else I talked to before. But I don't really know who you are. But I know CEO. He comes in here quite often, and we have some questions about his political leanings. I'm like, he seems fairly conservative, but I have some questions every now and then. But all in all, it seems like a good Christian. Seems like a decent guy. So there. So defended.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's the devil.
Wow. Steph's all right too. Steph's all right too. I was gonna make a joke about being a lead.
But I like the fact that he can't use his tone, his reprimanding tone in public because there's people sitting next to him. Ooh, he must be squirming in his seat because he can't get his lick back.
Okay, let's calm down. Everyone be calm.
Who is this guy? Who are you?
I
What
know
do you
I
want?
know. Is it e-bike?
I know. Who is it? We know your voice.
Does it matter who I am? I am Love, and this is a fake CEO. You can call yourself a CEO on a social chat app, and everybody can call you CEO.
Hold on. That's it. We're trying to keep the peace a little bit.
Go to my profile. Go to the website.
Go to my profile, go to my website. You will see I'm a CEO. A CEO of
I
CEOs. A
think
CEO of
that
CEOing.
is are you Mike? Are you typically drunk, Mike, with the dog in the profile?
Wait, the
I
Mike
think
that was
that's
just
who
in
it is. The guy, Love, he's still here.
Yeah, there was a guy in here earlier whose name was Mike.
Are you going to find arrest warrants? What about my appearance would make you say such a comment, Troy?
I'm trolling. Because usually when somebody says Google me, they like to make them seem like they're flattering above everyone, you know? Like, oh, I'm too good.
I have been insulted the last several minutes.
He insulted me.
I don't.
He insulted me first.
Okay.
Oh, can you imagine if it's like you know the guy or something, you're like fighting with him online, but you somehow like, you know, have information, like, you know, the city or whatever, and it's not too far from where you live, and it's like, Google me, bro, and he thinks it's going to be like all flattering and be like, oh, he wants to see how successful I am, and he's like, oh, guilty and recently released from prison for like triple homicide. Like, oh crap, no, you're great, I take it all back.
Or you found out they were stealing TVs from your neighbor the previous week.
Like, I was watching the show and it was funny. It was kind of like that. It was like it was this mobster, and you know, he'd gone to prison for like murdering people, and he moves into this HOA in a completely different place to start a new life. And this HOA guy like shows up and starts hassling him, giving tickets for like trash not ride, the garage door open, and the mobster's like, you know, playing nice. He's like, okay, man, okay, and he starts getting a little more riled up, and finally he like goes to court under allegations of like killing more people in that town. So then everyone sees it on TV. So he shows back up at his house, and the HOA guy's like, you know, like pooping himself. He comes up, he's like, hey, I'm sorry about that. Let's just let this all go. It's like, you know, mobster guilty of killing multiple people and blah, blah, blah. And now he's guilty of killing people again. I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure that's just drunk Mike.
I must not know drunk Mike.
It's drunk
There was the other Mike that made a lot of political points that we were like chomping at the bit to respond to, but if we did, we would never stop. But then he left, so I guess we never got back to that. But like every single point, I couldn't disagree with more hard. But
Was it Michael Scott?
I don't know. Well, he read something that, like, I guess one of his friends wrote in response to.
And he thought it was great, and it was just filled with all like left.
It was talking, yeah. It was debunked stuff. Like, it was about character. He said his like cousin wrote something about Trump, like how basically Democrats should vote for Trump regardless of his character. And then this guy wrote back something like apparently character matters. But then it quoted like every debunked thing. It's like, do you want a president who calls military people suckers and losers? Not happened. Been debunked ever since the day it came out. And like all this stuff is just like old recycled talking points. Anyway, so
well, I mean,
I couldn't.
Nate, you don't even have to go to the part of him, you know, debunking it with him not even saying it. Look at how he treated the military. I mean, he's had several pictures taken, not only shaking their hand, but there was one where a military man's hat blew off of his head because of high winds, and Trump was the only one out of anybody who bent down and picked it up and put it on the guy's head and brushed his shoulders off. Like, I mean, to say that he said that is absurd.
I mean, it's like the fine people hoax, right? Like, God, Kamala still says that. Like, it's like Biden tried to say it on the debate stage, and then Kamala tried to say the same thing at her debate. It's like, are there people who still believe this? And of course there are. I mean, that guy's one of them. But, I mean, he proudly read that. It's like the fine people hoax, right? Like, oh, there's good people on both sides of the issue. And they try to spin it like racist neo-Nazis. He's like, and in the very next sentence, he says, look, and it was about the statue, tearing down the statues, right? And he's like, look, there's people who want it taken down because it's insensitive. There's people who want it left up for historical reasons. And he says there's fine people on both sides of this argument. Then he's in the next line, he says, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and supremacists. And they just cut that out. You can't, right? So, I mean, the time to change people's minds, I think, is over. It's like, look, you want to, like, live or die, man. Live or die. It's like, if you want to live and, like, prolong this a little bit more and maybe be able to fix a little bit of things wrong with this country, vote Trump. If you're just ready to go off the edge,
Thank you. Yes, sir.
vote Kamala.
Ugh.
Steph, anything else going on in your world? What religious topics have you discussed lately?
I have a little, I was messaging V about this morning. I need help from a Christian parent. This is very specific. A Christian parent in a liberal state whose kids are in public school.
Well, we're 2 out of 3. Will 2 out of 3 work?
Well, Chris's son is in private school. Nate, are your kids in public school?
Yes.
But you're in Florida, so life is good there.
Okay, so settle, work with what you've got. So,
all right.
You've got Chris, who is a Christian, we think.
I'm a Christian.
Thanks. Yeah, that's great.
I'm just kidding. I don't doubt your salvation, Chris. When I say it, I'm only playing. Calvinist or Christians.
Did Steph say that for the record?
Yes, Chris, I think you are saved, and I can't wait to torment you for all of eternity. Yeah.
That baby was giving it up.
So, Chris is a Christian, but he lives in a very liberal city, and yeah, his kid goes to private school, which is increasingly more liberal. I am a Christian, living in a conservative area, in a conservative state, but my kids go to a public school. So that's the best of what you're working.
Okay, we got a Venn diagram here. Between the two of you, we could.
Yeah, we can figure this out. So what's the question?
All right, so my best friend, right, who's growing up. This has been my best friend since 5th grade, and she and I are still very, very close. She's my bestest buddy in the whole world.
Is this the one that you had a baby like 2 weeks after?
Yes, 3 times we had babies. Yes,
Okay.
that's my
and we all know homeschool's the right answer, right? Like that's we all agree before we even know what's going on.
She has a special needs kid. Homeschool would be incredible.
Yeah,
okay, go ahead,
it's
Steph.
not feasible.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we would still be homeschooling if it wasn't for the IEP. That's like a whole thing. And there are ways to do it, but then it becomes your full-time job. And anyway, pray for us, because I'd love to get my kids out of these freaking schools. All right, anyway, my best friend and I have the oldest girls that are 9, right? Both these girls are 9. They play Roblox together on FaceTime, right? So they do this like 2 or 3 nights a week. They're allowed to, after homework and chores and dinner, they sit down and for an hour or 2, they'll like play Roblox. My best friend, her name is Julie. I love Julie. She's a good person. She's just like been there for me my whole life. Her kids are horrible, awful, snotty little snot-nosed brats, and I can't stand them. Like all 3 of her kids are horrible people. I can't. They are 9, 6, and 2, and they are awful. And I like.
Wait, even a 2-year-old?
Yes.
How's a 2-year-old awful?
Because well, all right. So like, her husband is an atheist and like a rabid atheist, right? Well, so when she married him, I was all like, "You're a Christian. That's not going to end well." And she's like, "No, the Lord will take care of it, and the spouse is sanctified by the wife." And I'm like, okay." So it has not gone well. He has raised rabid atheist children, right? So the 9-year-old is the one who has like a pretty good grasp on what Christianity is. So Julie has come to me and asked, can you please organize Bible studies so that we can get Izzy, her daughter, to come to the Bible study? Because me and Esther and Chad do Bible studies at night, right?
I remember you telling us this. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So then Esther is trying to talk to Izzy, and Izzy is like, the Bible sucks and God is stupid. And Esther is horrified because she has never heard anybody say anything like that. She's like floored, like, what do you mean? Right? So then Esther cracks open her Bible and hits her with Psalm 14, which is like, the fool says in his heart that there is no God. And then Izzy is horribly offended and they have this big fight about it, okay? Then, which was hilarious.
I love 9-year-old fights. This is good.
I know, especially when she
They're
hits
kind
her
of
with
like
like
exactly like Clubhouse. That's the funny bit.
It is. Okay, so I'm in the other room overhearing this because, like, I like they use the computer in my office, so I'm not right there, but I'm hearing the entire conversation. 2 nights ago, Izzy and Esther are playing a game, and Izzy is just rude, and she's mean to Esther, and she's rude, and she doesn't have any like parents who are laying down the law with her, right? But this is my best friend's daughter, and my daughter loves her, and so I'm in this weird position. During this session that they're playing, Esther was doing something on Roblox and she was working really hard on it. And then when she was done, she was proud. And Izzy said, that sucks. It's stupid. And Esther said, well, I worked really hard. And Izzy said, it's still stupid. This is just what Izzy says about everything. So then Esther won, like it was a thing where everybody votes. So Esther won the game, right? She won all of the votes. And Izzy was like, I hate you, and hangs up the computer. Then she tells her mother that Esther said that her thing sucks and told her that she hated her and hung up on her. So now Julie is not believing me that I sat there and heard the whole thing and that her daughter is a brat. And I really want to tell my best friend that her daughter's a brat and I don't want her kid around my kid anymore. And I don't know what to do. Because if this was not my best friend's daughter, I'd be like, no. This is not, we are not having friendships like this, period.
So I would like to speak first. First of all, I have absolutely forbade Roblox from being in my house or on my kids' devices. And I recently found out they were playing this other like Magic Tile game, which also has like a chat with any random psycho person. And I have since been like, no. So the first thing is Roblox. I banned that. And no one's playing that. I don't want them to have the ability to be able to just chat with random pedos on the internet. So there's that.
The chat's off, just for the record.
Okay. Yeah, and
you can do that on
hang on. Yesterday, my kid, the older one, the 12-year-old, wanted Roblox and said this other girl in her 7th grade class was about, because she told them that I won't allow them to have Roblox. And this kid was saying that you can turn off chat and all this other stuff. And she's like, my dad still won't let me have it. I'm like, she's like, is that right? I'm like, that's right. She's like, she was going to write you a 3-page essay on how you can turn off chat and all this other stuff. I'm like, no, that is my answer. No. She's like, okay. And I just didn't give her a choice. So like, she didn't think that like pouting or getting upset was an option because I wasn't like, oh, I don't know. I'm just like, nope. She's like, okay, I figured you'd say that. Anyway, so this is tricky. It's easy for me to say. I have similar recent experiences that I can kind of relate. But similar, not the same. So, okay. And I think I told you guys about it. I'm trying to figure out
Get off topic. About Roblox, and that's not what she's asking about.
I'm just trying to type the ends. So, first of all, the answer, you are not wrong. I don't know how you would convey this. You probably wouldn't, or that's basically the thing to end the friendship. Is, look, all these evils that have befallen you and your children that are now being visited upon you could have been prevented if she just would have listened to you and not married her atheist husband.
Yes!
Right. But that's the thing you can't say unless there's nowhere else to go and you're basically ready to end the friendship. And even then, it's not going to be helpful, so probably just don't say it. But in your heart, you'll know that's the cause of everything. Okay, so as far as rude friends, like, are you a principled person, and is this the hill to die on or not? Because, you could be principled, and this isn't the hill to die on. For me, I think it would be, because my responsibility is to my child, as a parent, first and foremost, my responsibility is to them, not other people's kids, or either friendships. So we have these people, this girl at my kid's school, and there's like 3 or 4 of them. So if you remember the story, stop me. But there's like 3 or 4 of them, and recently there's this girl that wants to be their friend and wants to be nice, maybe kind of like this person you're talking about. But when things don't go her way, she flies off the handle. Because if she doesn't feel like she's being included enough, or they're not doing exactly what she wants, and she says she doesn't believe in a God, hates church, so there's some parallels. And then she has apparently the most filthy potty mouth on earth. So like if my friend, like she's being all nice, she'll give her some extra food or snacks that she brings from home, and then my kid will be like, oh, I don't want to do that. Or I'm talking to this other girl. She'll be like, oh, F you, you B word. I'm like, what? She says that?
Whoa.
And yeah, I'm like a 6th grader or 5th, whatever grade my kids are in. Anyway, so 7th? Anyway, so I'm like, oh my gosh. And so my thought, because they go to a public school, but it's very small. So my first advice is, look, child, you need to have nothing else to do with her. Stay away from her. That's it. And then it was made clear to me by my kid, her perception is that there's nothing you can really do because this whole school, her class is like 40 people and the school's very small. So there's really no getting away from someone like that. You're going to have to be in proximity. And I'm like, well, are there other kids? She's like, I could sit at another table, but those kids are way worse. So I'm like, okay, well then you just have to make the best of the situation. So that's kind of the similarities. So for you, if your kid has a personality where they're not being damaged by this, like where you can explain, like, hey, this is, godless atheists going to do what godless atheists do. If you're able to just hear it and let it roll off your back, and if they're being a butt to you and saying bad things to you, they'd be like, hey, look, I'm just going to end this game and not talk to you for a while if you're going to treat me like that. What are you going to do? So she's like that type of person that can handle that. And every time this person gets riled up or starts like cussing her out or saying bad stuff, she's like, all right, peace, and just clicks it off. Then either that kid's going to modify their behavior because they want a friend and they don't have any other friends, so they're going to have to modify their behavior, or they know your kid is not going to be their friend. Or no matter what she does, they're never going to modify their behavior. And in that case, you may have to be like, well, look, I want to be your friend, but I can't have your kids doing this to my kids, so, our kids are going to play together.
Morals.
Let me clarify that part. So Esther is not unaffected by this. She is literally crying because she only just found out that Izzy hates God. Right? Izzy's 9. I'm using these words liberally, but Izzy has been taught by her father that God is fake and that she hates religion and that religious people are stupid and this whole thing, right? So Esther didn't know this about their family. So she's like absolutely devastated that why doesn't Izzy love Jesus? And she's like, Izzy's mom loves Jesus. So we're having these conversations. The other night when Izzy got mad at her and hung up on her, Esther was like, I want her to be saved because she's clearly unhappy. And I was like, I know, girl, a lot of people who don't know Jesus just are like that, and she's like, but I don't want that for her. So she's heavily affected by the need to like evangelize her 9-year-old friend, and I'm trying to explain it doesn't always work like that, and it is impacting her life. Like, she's sad, and 9, like, my kid's not a missionary, right? Like, I don't know, I don't know what to do with it.
Well, hang on one second. I think there was Chris, and then V came up, and then we'll get to you, Truck. But I just wanted to clarify what I was saying. Of course, she's affected. I meant, like, is she someone who you can talk to your kid, and she will hear it in this way, which is like, if the person says, "Oh, you suck," or "I'm mad at you," like, is she like crushed by that, or is she like, oh, okay, you're just being a jerk right now.
She's
I'm gonna hang up, and then okay, well then the second one, like, maybe it's time to have a heart to heart with the parent and be like, look, I'm your friend. This is way too much for my kid to deal with for whatever reason. So my kids aren't going to be able to play with your kids because it's just too much right now. Maybe if my kid gets a better perspective and handles this later. But if your kid's going to treat her this way, and if you're not going to believe I heard the whole conversation,
Tell the
then,
child
I don't have a problem with you.
like this.
But our
Get
kids
used
can't
to
play
it.
together. Chris,
This
and
is
then
the
V, and then
simulation
Truck,
of
and
life.
Adam, and Random, and everyone else.
Oh my goodness. So Steph, the real thing that's going to be really helpful is introduce your child to Calvinism, and then they'll be
Shut up! No.
Okay, V.
She'll be like, oh, so okay, it's just
I want to hear
Chris, do you have
Chris's
anything,
real
do you have anything
advice.
helpful? Give us your real answer. That is the real answer. Give it to us,
That was
Chris.
his real answer.
Ugh.
Is that your real answer?
No. What I would say is, like, look,
I love that you want me to tell my 9-year-old that her 9-year-old is a vessel of wrath created for destruction.
No, we don't know that. You just
I
tell
changed
her,
my
like,
answer.
hey, it's
That's
not
my
your
answer.
responsibility. It's very free.
Oh, that I did tell her. Yes, I did tell her.
Okay, cool. That's good. Okay, so anyway, the real answer is that, look, a lot of people, and you did the right thing, like, a lot of people don't know Jesus, and this is kind of the reality of the world in which we live. And what our job is to just simply be loving to that person and, tell them about the gospel. And, and for a 9-year-old, that's just going to be like, Jesus does love you and Jesus is real, despite what you may think or have been told. So, that's enough. And if her little heart, can be channeled in that way to understand, then I think that your daughter will come out on the other side in good shape.
And next is, we're going to get to everyone in the order I remember.